I am Ross from Cultaholic.com, you're my sexual wank pheasants, and it's that bastard time of the week once again where I take a look at all of the WTF moments from an episode of WWE Raw. An episode of WWE Raw this week that, without the endless recaps of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, would have lasted roughly 3 minutes long. Why do they think we are so stupid? So not only did WWE think their fanbase have the memory of a brain-dead Dory, they also think their fanbase have the sight of the kayfabe, which of course means nothing more than darkness because the kayfabe is dead. Brock Lesnar is quite clearly holding the WWE Championship in that picture there, even though he is quite clearly the current Universal Champion. Vince McMahon, I know that Brock Lesnar has got your grapefruits in his fridge, but Jesus Christ, man, you're paying that man enough money so you can take a new picture of him. See, the pictures you do have of him are more recent than 2015. Since when were those two pals? For bear time, Alexa Bliss called Mickie James old. For bear time, Mickie James complimented Alexa Bliss for the shape of her arse. And then at the Elimination Chamber, Mickie James is all like to Alexa Bliss, "Whoa, pal, I'm not going to fall for your manipulative games. I'm not like that." Then last night, the pair of them come out looking like a pair of brat dolls that I had back in the day with all the sass of Will Sasso. Then Alexa Bliss claims that they, whoever they are, will say that February the 25th will go down in history as the day that Alexa Bliss changed the game, then, now, and forever. Bollocks, mate. Just like every other day in the year, they will be saying that February the 25th is a happy Rusev Day, and there are many more happy Rusev days to come, apart from December 21st, that is, which is Rosev Day, the day that Matt Hardy penetrated my brain. On webcam, teehee. That's a funny way of spelling Lana. Now, I don't know about you, but I disagree with Alexa Bliss when she says that Sasha Banks' worst characteristic is a massive ego. I reckon that massive ego is quite a useful trait to have. The confidence goes a long way. That pissing recklessness in the ring, though, that needs to disappear off the face of the earth, just like Stephanie McMahon's mere existence. I cannot wait for Ronda Rousey to get her hands on those lady pals at WrestleMania and pay back years of torment. Another 6-woman tag match. Jesus Christ, that is just the 10th in the last 3 months on WWE's televised programming. As they say, you simply can't get enough of the thing that screams, "We don't have a pissing idea what to do with our women's division." That's a well-known saying, and you know it is. Maggle, 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 maggle. And this time we have Maggle Cole claiming that we literally saw Sasha Banks stab Bayley in the heart at Elimination Chamber. Nope. That didn't happen. We didn't see a knife. We didn't see a stabbing. We didn't see blood. We didn't see a murder, Maggle, you numpty. Corey Graves claims that Alexa Bliss did the impossible at Elimination Chamber and outlasted 5 other women inside the chamber. And because of the nature of this show and the nature of Corey Graves' new hairdo, I'm here to say you're wrong, pal. By the time Alexa Bliss was unleashed from her Poddington, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Mickie James had all been eliminated from the match. So technically, all Alexa Bliss did was win a triple threat match, and that's as easy as open heart surgery compared to the curing of cancer, which is comparable to winning an Elimination Chamber from the start, having faced all the opponents in the ring. Maggle, 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 maggle. There's a reason she's called the irresistible force according to Maggle Cole. Aye, because if she was called the immovable object, we'd all be able to see straight through your charade, WWE. Nia Jax, don't you worry, pal, I've got your back. Why are you such a bad friend? Now, Sasha Banks just hopped up to her feet and in riposte to that question said, "I'm in the midst of a heel turn, pal. I might have died." Either way, that fan proves that the graps is still for reals. Bayley, your lady balls, pal, they've grown back. Now, I can't have been the only one thinking about the old Bayley, the idiot virgin Bayley who didn't know how to work a kendo stick and hadn't so much as kissed a boy, when she said, "I can't stand no more of Sasha Banks," and pulled out of a potential tag. They're finally getting it on WWE. She might still be the hooker, but that doesn't mean she has to be a wet wipe. Now, wouldn't it have been great in riposte to John Cena's challenge if he went straight to The Undertaker's house via video link and we saw him saying, "Did you not see the coat and the hat in the ring, pal? I'm finished, you numpty." And then we saw John Cena claim that he doesn't make his own matches in WWE, even though we saw him do just that 2 short weeks ago against The Miz, and more times than he's actually beaten people over the past 15 years, which, believe me, is a lot. And then John Cena claims he's in the getting up business. So then Bray Wyatt claims that he's going to make woken Matt Hardy's woken eyes stay shut forever. So essentially, he said he's going to murder him. Aye, that man doesn't have talks and bollocks, does he? Next up, The Miz claims that he doesn't have any merch, and if I just look over there, I'd be saying the same thing if my merch looked like that. But it doesn't. Cultaholic.com/shop. And now it's time for this. Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank. Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank. Just like blankety blank fills in the blanks, wankety wank sees a sexual wank pheasant. Tweet me and fill in my blanks when I miss a WTF moment from a WWE show. Thank you to Stephen Allen Moffat, who spotted a fan wearing a Miz t-shirt seconds after the Miz claims he doesn't have any merch. Piffington. Maggle, 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 maggle. That splash from Seth Rollins, by the way, bugger me, did he have some toot in his trousers or what? But according to Maggle Cole, that's the kind of splash that only the cruiserweights do, not Seth Rollins. It's a frog splash, mate, not some kind of human origami. We've got Kevin Owens doing senton, Seth Rollins himself doing more impressive things like Phoenix splashes, and you're waxing lyrical about that. You need to go and speak to Shania Twain, pal, because very little is impressing you too much. John Cone, you melt. Haha, get it, because ice cream comes in cones and melts. I'm gonna die low. You screaming two to go at levels John Cena would be embarrassed of simply should not be happening. We do not want to know when a match is going to finish, you melt. Maggle Cole calling Corey Graves Mr. Propaganda Machine of The Miz is the single biggest example of kettle pop black since the beginning of the world. What a knobhead Michael Cole is for saying such a thing after what he used to say about The Miz way back in day. It just feeds more into WWE's belief that the fan base can't remember things that happened more than 5 minutes ago. Truth and funny being used in the same sentence on a WWE show simply hasn't happened before, so Roman Reigns doing that is some kind of WTF moment. Because our truth is rubbish. And what about Roman Shiner? I'm calling animal abuse. Somebody call the RSPCA, because you can't be doing that to the big dog. Nah, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar didn't attend the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view on Sunday because that show was even more predictable than Matthew Wright from Channel 5's The Right Stuff dying alone because he's a numpty. Pass it on. Accept Pichiti's challenge, bitch. Why would Brock Lesnar waste his time with that predictable show when the unpredictability of the roulette wheel and the ladies of the night are on the table in Vegas at the same time? Come on, of course he does both of those things, and he's red and sweaty while doing them at the same time. The list of good promos cut by Roman Reigns doubled last night. Hasn't he come a hell of a long way since the night after WrestleMania last year when he said the best when he said the netto? Ronan Keaton. Now I would like to know if this was real or if Roman Reigns was pulling a racist and working the marks up into a shoot. That's Hulk Hogan's catchphrase. Of course it is. I'd also like to know where the piss Brock Lesnar was, because as we all know, when Paul Heyman lets him off the leash, he gets up to all sorts of capers that belongs in some kind of sitcom. Maggle, 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 maggle. Here's a quote from Maggle Cole, that coming off what Braun Strowman did last week to Elias. It says 2 weeks ago, right there, you numpty. So with the endless recaps and words appearing on screen apparently showing us that WWE believes us fans are both blind and stupid, we clearly have Michael Cole to blame with Michael Ricketts like this. Why can't there be more than 2 teams in Raw's tag team division at one time? This is it now. After months of seeing the same match with The Bar taking on Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins +1, we are now set for a lengthy feud between The Bar and Titus Worldwide. They're not wild. Worldwide, until the sweet release of death breaks us free from the shackles of life. Why couldn't the Revival or Good Brothers been thrown into the mix last night? What on earth have they done wrong? Back in the day at Name Redacted, I would call Corey Graves Norris because much like Norris off the nation's favourite street, Corey Graves went through a period of time on WWE's programme where he would stir bollocks up on the show. He was back at it again last night when he apparently saw Dana Brooke inside Kurt Angle's office, but he didn't know what was going on. Ooh. We all know what you were hinting at, Corey, with that tone of voice, and since Dana Brooke is a statistician these days, and if you didn't get that reference, let me spell it out for you. 1 times 0 equals many more kids for Angle. And next up we have the moment where Jonathan Coachman claims that a defeat last night for Apollo and Titus O'Neil means that they were moved to the back of the queue in terms of those in line for a tag team championship shot at the Bar. I tell you what, Coachman, it's a good job that line is comparable to the one that Virgil sees every time he's at a meet and greet, compared to the size of the ones that went up Hulk Hogan and Macho Man's nostrils in the 1980s. Sheamus, you idiots, the greatest stage of them all. That's like going to the Golden Arches and saying da-da-da-da-da. I'm liking it. So the big dog told us that half an hour before he was out there for his promo, he was told that Brock Lesnar wasn't going to be turning up at last night's Raw. Somehow, however, that fan there had a sign drawn out beautifully that would have taken him longer to make than the time that had passed since the end of Roman's promo to the time that that sign was shown on screen. Whoa. One question, of course, how can that fan there predict the future? For Christ's sake, Coachman, this is the last time. It wasn't a huge big guitar, it was a double bass. Who knew that that cameraman there, who clearly wasn't supposed to be in shot at that time, was such a big fan of Roman Reigns' big brother, Rosie? How do we know this to be true? Because when that cameraman was shown in that shot he wasn't supposed to be in, he cried out Rosie's most famous gimmick of superhero in training. You're getting sacked in the morning. So if Kurt Angle needs this job so bad, why did he go out their elimination chamber and lie knowingly? Why did he try to piss off Mrs. Ladyballs? Why did he have to ruffle her ladyballs? And why did he give Mrs. Ladyballs an excuse to fire his ass if he needed that job so much? What's he smoking? Pneumonia by the sounds of things. And we end with a moment that nobody saw coming. Mrs. Ladyballs herself looking weak. Forget about the end is nigh. This was a moment that quite literally sent some of the WWE roster loopy. Look at the plight of them. And that is it for all of your WTF moments from WWE Raw. I've been Ross from Cultaholic.com. Thank you for being a sexual wank pheasant. Follow me on the Twitter machine at Ross on Wrestling. Pledge to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Anything you can afford to give us will be greatly appreciated, then retitivated into many new things to produce more content for your viewing pleasure. But most importantly of all, do not forget to join us on everything but the Bebo.